Hello. So today we're talking about the Millionairess lifestyle. I wanted to come on here today and give you guys this free training, mostly because I missed you. I feel like it's been a while since I've live streamed here. I've been so busy with my event and all of that stuff. So anyways, I'm back. Hi, I've got you in my little live stream right here. Hello. Happy to see you. Awesome. Beautiful. I've been so busy with my event and all of that stuff. So anyways, I'm back. Hi. I've got you in my little Okay, am I back and can you still hear me? It's doing that annoying thing where I can hear back the recording. Okay, tell me if you can still hear me. Okay. All right. Awesome. Sorry about that. So, I know that a lot of people have set goals for New Year resolutions, and I don't know about you guys, but you can just, most people that I'm talking to, you can just feel that something's different. Like there's new things coming through us. There's an unease often. A lot of things are falling away. There's a letting go process happening right now. So I wanted to offer some guidance and hopefully a container around how you can do that, how you can create that millionaire's lifestyle. And I do this process that I'm about to share with you repeatedly, like literally on repeat, because once you adapt to a new level, there's always another level of inner work that your soul wants to do, because literally we're here in like life school on earth, right? Yes. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Carla. Hi, Kristen. Hi, everyone. Patricia. Yes, there's a lot of people feeling like this huge shedding process right now. And what can happen during that process is like a lot of us can go into almost like this hibernation mode where we're feeling unease, but like nothing is happening. And I'm sharing with you today my exact process on how I level up to every level. And I'm feeling a huge one coming in right now for myself that I'm like right in the middle of. So I thought this would be a really good time to document this. So step number one is to define one to three areas of your life that you want to take to the millionaire's lifestyle. 1 to 3 areas. There's an amazing saying that if you have more than 3 priorities, you actually have none. And I really believe this because, yeah, we all want everything and we want all the things, but if those are not clearly defined for you, then other people will start defining them for you. And that's the worst situation to be in, especially as a woman, because of the way that we've evolved. We're easily adaptable, and obviously this served evolution. But if you're just like easily adaptable into other people's plans, then you have none of your own. And I know I've actually been in that situation in a previous phase of my life, and I know this happens to a lot of women, where you just like go along with a partner, and before you know it, you completely start losing yourself, and you're like, you have no identity other than this relationship that you're in, or even this family situation. So you need to start defining what those 1 to 3 areas are. And that doesn't mean you don't get to have more than that. Obviously, like I have all the things that I've wanted in my life, but I didn't do them all at once because I knew that I had a lot of inner work to do. And if I was just going to pretend like I was just gonna do all the inner work at once, I would be lying to myself, because that's definitely not how I did it. You know, that famous saying that my overnight success took 10 years? It's true. It compounds on you really fast, but you need to be able to clearly define those areas. So I recommend having some kind of a journal. I like to have like a really fun book, not like a normal journal book, but like something really fun that I like holding and looking at. This is mine that I just really enjoy looking at and playing with and having. And so in here, I will write down my current quantum leap, like the area that I'm currently taking into the next level of my millionaire's lifestyle. Okay. Another thing that I want to say about that is, notice that I'm saying my millionaire's lifestyle, because my millionaire's lifestyle and your millionaire's lifestyle has nothing to do with other people, right? Now, over the years, I have found other people as inspiration. I have gotten ideas from Instagram and YouTube and people I saw out and about in real life, magazines, and that's different. But one of the things that was like holding me back many decades ago was thinking that being rich or looking rich looked a certain way, or that I would have to do certain things that I didn't want to do. And it was a university professor, actually, one that hated her job. I shared about her before with you guys. She was one of my teachers. She shouldn't be teaching. She hated teaching, and you could tell that she hated teaching. And she said that if she had $1 million in the bank, that she would just live off of it and just read all day. And it was like these light bulb moments for me. Like it was like angels started singing for me. Because when I had thought about being rich, that was not one of the options in my mind. It wasn't one of the options that had been presented to me ever before. And that at that time was like, oh my God, yes, that's the ideal lifestyle that I want. So that became sort of like the first step for me, like holding on to that image and saying, oh, you don't have to do XYZ when you're rich. You can literally do anything that you want. That's the whole point, right? So yes, you can use other people for inspiration, but make sure that they are still your divine downloads, like your soul's evolution. So in the Barakat course, in lesson number 4, I recently defined the phase soul's energetic blueprint. And I know I use this a lot, and some of you guys get it, and some of you guys are always asking, like, what the hell does that mean? Okay, so we all have a soul that is kind of like in and outside of this human body. So like think of your human body as like the vehicle, right? But the soul is the driver. So the soul is the one that's like giving you those divine downloads and like steering you in the direction that it wants to go to have the experiences that it wants to have. So it comes into this lifetime with a certain agenda, with a certain level of lessons that it wants to live, but how it learns those lessons is kind of it's kind of the journey. Like it can learn the lesson this way, this way, this way, this way, but it knows that it wants to reset this karma and learn this lesson and this lesson. There's generally some kind of a blueprint. So the way that I describe this in Barkat, which I'll share a little bit with you here, is that your soul is consciousness when it's created at its origination, when it splits off from source energy. Your soul is consciousness without content. Okay, so think of like source energy, the quantum field, God, whatever name you want to give to that almighty one power, one source. And then think of like these little itty bitty pieces, particles kind of like breaking off from it, okay, going on to their own adventures. Well, at the soul's origination, when it splits off, it is consciousness, it's pure consciousness without content. Okay, as it goes through its first lifetime and then second lifetime and then third lifetime and goes through all of these journeys, it acquires content and it starts creating this energetic blueprint. It has things that it must undo from past lifetimes. It wants to learn this lesson and this lesson and this lesson. It wants to come back to this knowing and this realization and this awakening. And so it's acquiring content as it goes through all of these different life phases. So when our soul incarnated into this lifetime, right now, the one we're in, all of us right now collectively together, it has a certain agenda. It has certain things that it wants to do. This is why when people bring us ideas or whatever that kind of go against that, that's not the path it wants to take, we don't feel good. There's this internal dis-ease or unease or whatever you want to call the feeling of like knowing that you're out of alignment. And that's where that phase comes from, that phrase like I'm out of that's not in alignment, because it must take you on certain journeys because it has a agenda. Okay, even though those things can play out in a multiple ways. For example, let's say that I had hurt someone in a previous lifetime and there is some karma that must be reset. Well, if I come into this lifetime and I want to reset that karma, there's a multitude ways I can do so. I can ask for forgiveness and have an awakening and release that and like forgive myself for doing those things, and then that karma is cleared. Or I can do a lot of good deeds for other people and have a spiritual awakening, and that thing is cleared. Or that exact thing can play out in this lifetime where I'm on the other end of it, and that's how that karma is cleared. So you can see that there's a multitude of ways I can take. But if someone tries to take me away from that thing that I'm here to clear out or fix or heal or evolve from, I'm not going to feel good. And this is why certain people, places, things will come into your life or fall out once you've learned the lessons or awakened into a different, higher self of you, because the job there is done. It's complete. It's like, okay, that's done. So the reason that I went on this tangent is because how you're going to play out your millionaire's lifetime is your soul's decision, right? So if you are not meant to do millionaires in this other way that this person is doing because your soul has a different agenda, you can try doing that. You'd still have free will, but it's not going to feel good. Your soul will keep trying to reroute you in this other direction. So define 1 to 3 areas that you want to take millionaires with you. I'll be very honest with you. I usually at any given time just do one thing at a time. Yes, you can do more than that. Some people have the capacity to do so. I personally have noticed that if I go all in on one area, it generally up levels all the other areas anyways, and I'm really better able to focus. I have a very highly cultivated masculine side. I've said this to you guys many, many times. I love my masculine side, my masculine energy. And so when I go into those like blinders on, sort of like masculine energy, I'm a beast. Like I'm unstoppable. So that's why I try to just use that to my advantage instead of trying to up level a whole bunch of things and then getting lost. Let me check in with you guys before I continue because I said some things. Let's see. Aha moment, someone said. Never thought I could be having karma from a previous life. Oh my God, my life has changed so much because of your teaching. Thank you, babe. I appreciate that. Beautiful. Okay, so here's someone described their 3. Deeper intimacy with my husband, and 2, emotional wellness in me, and 3, health. I love these 3, and I love how they're actually all aligned. Like, I don't know about you, but when I'm reading all 3 of these, they sound like the byproduct of like the same thing. It's like overall like healing and wholeness for you equals health equals emotional wellness equals deeper intimacy with your husband. Beautiful. I love that. Okay. Yes, 2023 feels so different, as if I will be completely transformed by the end of this year. Yes. And either way you will be completely transformed, but I find that if I put my soul in the forefront, in instead of the ego or the program, like I like to say, if I put the soul at the forefront, then it's more of a aligned process where I'm not kind of like being dragged through it. It's like chosen, and I'm choosing, and I'm manifesting, and I'm co-creating. So that's what I like to do. The second thing I want to work on now is that, okay, so we define the 1 to 3 areas that you want to take uh, into your next level millionaires lifestyle. Number 2 is that recognizing, realizing, and awakening to the fact that not everyone, not everything gets to come with you, because not everything is at that level that you're trying to go to. Not everyone wants to go to that same level. And remember, free will, we do not want to drag anyone there, just like we don't want to be dragged into areas where we don't want to go. Like that would be gross if my soul was here to go this way and someone was trying to drag me into this way, and I don't want to do that to other people. So recognizing that our souls are eternal and that we're here having this very momentary experience, and not everyone will go all the way to the end here, but we will see them again if we so choose to later on in a different lifetime or in a different plane altogether. And so letting people be where they are with love and grace, but also realizing that even things, right? Like even clothes or the way that you eat or your habits or the way that things are arranged in your household, like a lot of things are not going to go to this new level. That's the 80% that you must shed. Because if all of these things were meant to go with you, then you would have already been there now. But there is a reason that these things are not aligned anymore. There's a reason that you want to go to the next level. There's a reason that your heart is calling out for more. So what are the things that are not going to be going with you? Just becoming aware of them. And there's two ways of doing this. You could like literally walk around and name out everything, or you can do it the other way, which is the way I like to do it. I just decide who Ming is going to be at this new level, how she's going to dress, what effect she's going to have, what, like with her dressing and her energy, what she's going to eat, and draw, like focus in so much on that that all of the other stuff falls out anyways. Like it literally just falls away because I removed my focus from that. And then because of my Berkut process, which you guys know I've been teaching in the Berkut course, I will start noticing then the things that I'm no longer using. And because that leaks Berkut, I will start giving those things away, selling those things, donating them, whatever I need to do, because those things are obviously no longer aligned because I'm not using them anymore. Yes, the second way of doing it, recognizing that not everyone gets to go with you. I actually journaled on this morning. Yes, and to me, honestly, in the beginning, in the beginnings of my journey, this was like a sad process for me. I would like cry. It was a whole grieving period. Like it was a whole thing. I was overly dramatic with this point that like not everyone gets to come with me. At this point in my journey, I love that. And I see that as a beautiful thing because I want every single person on this planet to do exactly what their soul came here to do. I don't want to be the reason that someone else doesn't get to live out their soul's alignment and then have to repeat a lifestyle, a life time doing the thing that they should have done in the other lifetime. I don't want to be the reason for that. So I want every single person in my life to, and you, everyone, to go live their best life. And if that means that's away from me, beautiful. I support that because your soul's journey is way more important than me hanging on to you, right? Like that's how I literally see it. Okay. Hi. Hello, Mansi. Welcome, everyone. Okay. So letting people go and realizing that that's actually a good thing, not a negative thing. Okay. So the next thing is, I didn't know where to put this in the process, so I put it here, but sometimes it happens in the beginning as number one. I want you to change up your environment in some way. Let me tell you this, the biggest, boldest quantum leaps of my entire life came in from a huge environment change. And actually, there's scientific research supporting this, that when we are pulled away from our like current placement, like where everything is placed, your home, the same people you see, the same bank you go to, the same grocery store, when you're pulled away from that, in that moment, you are in the most like ripe situation to have new ideas, new inspiration, bold decisions can be made. You're looking at a new environment, and I'm very sensitive to energies of places. There's only a very few places, even on this planet, that just resonate with me where I can like live and thrive. Houston is one of them. I love Hawaii. Florida is another one. Chicago and I did not, oh my goodness, I was born and raised in Chicago, but the energy of Chicago and me did not work. Okay. So go somewhere else for time being. It could be a different part of town. It could be a different city, a different country, but try to put yourself in a completely different location. The frequency of that location will unlock different energy channels and different parts of your brain. Things that you can't think at home, like thoughts that you can't even access, will be accessible in different planes. So even if it just simply means, like, let's say you literally can't like hop on a plane and go somewhere right now, go to a different grocery store, like start shopping at a different Target. One day out of the month, drive an hour away in any direction and go see something new, be in a different frequency, go hang out with people that are different. Even if you're not really hanging out with them, like you can go sit in a restaurant an hour away, right, where people are different. They're not the kind of people that live in your neighborhood. So being in new energies, oh my God, so in 2022, we traveled so much, probably the most that I've ever traveled in my whole life. I traveled in 2022. And the ideas, the downloads, the awakenings, the things that were transmitted to me were so different. Like the flavor of them was just so different that when I came back home, I couldn't even place myself back into that old house or that old energy. And I knew that a change needed to be made. Like the quantum self had literally summoned me and there was no going back. So this is why I have my in-person intensives, because I when I'm always teaching on Zoom, when I'm always live streaming, we get like set in that frequency, right? Even though I'm teaching new things, there is a certain frequency that comes with YouTube and there's a certain flavor that comes with Zoom. When I'm teaching in person in new places, we unlock completely different things, right? As we just wrapped up the Rebirth Houston intensive, even though it was still in my hometown, some of you guys, lots of you guys traveled, you felt different. All of a sudden you're hanging out with girls that are super high vibe, friendships that a lot of you guys had not experienced before, eye contact. These women understand your language. They know the type of inner work you've been doing. You guys are quoting different programs that you guys have taken together, right? It's completely different. So when you go back home, your identity has shifted so much, right? You have unlocked parts of your energy consciousness and your brain that you could not have unlocked sitting in the same old town with the same old people that you went to high school with, right? It's you're not going to be able to wake up those sleeping parts of your brain that you have stopped using in that space. And if you were going to use those, you would have used them already. So notice that I also don't always have intensives in Houston, even though, hello, it's easier for me to do it in Houston. It's my hometown. I've got a whole team over here. I've got my hairstylist. I've got my people here, right? But even then, why do I myself put myself in, like in those situations where I'm going out, where it's harder, right? Like I have to travel, be in a new environment, teach an environment, because I don't want to get stuck in my own same thoughts, teach the same things, think the same things, right? Like I want to have those next level frequency downloads as well. So whatever you can do, how often you can do it, put yourself in completely different environments and watch different parts of your brain activate. Parts that don't need to be activated, you have put them in sleep mode in your current home and current lifestyle, will be necessarily awakened in those other lifestyles, in those other situations. And then you're gonna be like, oh my God, how come I didn't think of this before? How come I didn't notice this? How come this thought didn't come to me? This idea, this download. How come I haven't seen this possibility for whatever, right? So with that said, you guys know currently I am enrolling for my Millionairess Miami intensive, which is happening on March 1st and 2nd of this year, literally 36 days in Miami. Super excited. And let me tell you something. I have a funny story to tell you guys. I emailed about this, but I want to talk a little bit more about this. So every time we have our in-person intensives, there are obviously men at these hotels like that were event spaces, right? And every time we have them, there's always like men just looking at us. I like, even when I had it in Florida years ago, I remember these group of people sitting, and the men kept turning around and looking at us. We were having our meet and greet. They kept turning, and then the women were getting so annoyed because the men, they couldn't keep their men's attention because of all of this feminine energy. So anyways, we always have men kind of like asking us. At the last year's Houston intensive, this guy came up, and really well dressed older man, and he goes, excuse me, not to, sorry to bother you, what are you guys doing? Like, you guys are so well dressed. So we always have this experience. Well, this time at the Houston intensive that we just had, Rebirth, there was this huge automotive some conference going on right next door to our conference room, and it was a whole bunch of men, and they literally couldn't help themselves. Like, they would be passing by our conference room, and just, this was them, and just like standing there literally. And so I'm over here trying to like teach, and like I'm talking to my girls, and then I see someone just like staring, just standing there staring, and I'm like trying to like keep the train of thought. And then as they would pass, I would be like, sorry, girls, there was a guy just like standing there staring at us, and I totally lost my train of thought. So this happens at every event because of the magnetism, the power of all of these beautiful high vibe women in their feminine energy all together. So for Miami, this is a new place that I've never done an intensive in Miami before, so I'm actually making a new relationship with this hotel. And so I was talking to her, and I told her, I said, I'm teaching this event. And she's like, well, when you emailed, I actually looked you up. And she's like, I absolutely love what you're doing. She's like, I'm a big fan. I subscribed. I love everything. And she said, I know exactly the type of place you want. Before I could even tell her the situation, then she tells me, she's like, I'm giving you guys a completely private area of like the hotel. It's a separate elevator, separate like private room, 4 balconies, sitting area, lounge room, no one, private bathroom. No one will even know you guys are there. Like, it's so private. So I'm like, that is so funny, because so I told her that whole story. I'm like, at every intensive, we have like men just like magnetized to our energy, and they can't stop staring. And I don't mind, but it's just like sometimes I'll lose my download that I'm like teaching. She's like, I saw your YouTube channel. I already knew this was going to be next level. And she's like, I got you your own private thing. So she FaceTimed with me, showed me the thing. Oh my God, this is the most high end, like, place ever. Yes, for those of you guys that were at my Hawaii intensives, yes, this is more than, yes, I know. I'm in shock too. This is more than Hawaii. So it's so just brilliant. It just works out. But I'm telling you this story because I'm constantly putting myself in situations that expand me. So for example, what I paid for the full day beverage service, the meet and greet dinner, the lunch menu, like the hotel, all of that combined for 2 days in Houston. Okay, did you get that? So everything I paid for like the whole thing for Houston is just the lunch at this place. When she told me, I was on FaceTime, and I was like, gulp, like trying to like keep a straight face. And you guys know, like, you guys already know how I roll. I'm a free spender, big spender. I don't look at price tags. And I had to sit down a minute, okay? I was like, that's how much people spend on lunch? Like, one lunch? And so anyways, I got off the phone with her, and I was like, is this going to expand me? Like, is this right now ripping my container open of like what I thought I would spend on just one lunch? not the whole thing, just one lunch, which was more than what I spent on the whole freaking thing in Houston, right? So, anyways, I texted my husband who was in his office and he in a meeting. So he comes out and I told him, and he's like, "Wow, okay." He's like, "You did say you wanted to go next level." He's like, "That's next level." I was like, "That's next level. That's gonna expand our container for how much we're okay with." I'm like, "Yes, that's good. That I can't ever come back from this." So he's like, "Okay, go ahead, do it, do it." I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Do it." So I emailed her back. I'm like, "We're doing it. It's done. Why am I doing this?" Right? Because I constantly want to keep growing. Because if I stop growing, my relationship stops growing. The modeling that I can do for my children stops growing. The space that I can hold for my divine clients stops growing. Like there is a cap, you know, those leaders and amazing authors and amazing people that literally tell the same damn story and give the same damn examples like for decades in a row. Like I have followed a lot of people where like I'll find someone and I'm like, "Oh, this person sounds really interesting and exciting." And then I'll like want to watch all the podcasts and all their YouTube live streams and everything. And then it's like 3 videos in, it's like they only tell that one story of that's like their origination story. It's like it's just that one thing, right? I despise that. That is never going to be me. I want to keep growing. I want to hold space at a higher and higher level for my soul, for myself, for my husband, for my kids, for you, for humanity, for like the collective, like for what we all get to have. And so, yes, I could have just done it here again. I could have called them up and said, "Hey, just rinse and repeat that entire thing that we did." But I'm like, no, what's another place that I want to build a home-based teaching in? What's a different place that's going to have unlock different areas of my brain, different energies in my being? That's where I need to go. So Miami came to mind, and then I'm like, Millionairess, Miami, perfect. So we've sold 17 spots as of the last time I checked. So I'm super excited. 36 was Houston. This was the largest I've ever done. I had this limiting belief before of how much in-person energy I could hold. And this Houston event definitely broke that. And I realized that it's easier to teach more people. Like it's so weird how we have all of these limiting beliefs. So anyways, so now like that, once I break that limit, I don't want to go back. So this is going to be huge. I'm excited. If you guys are interested, the link is in the description box. It's called Millionairess Miami. Also, the recordings of Rebirth Houston, for those of you guys that wanted to be there but couldn't, they are on a pre-sale, just the digital recordings, for the next 24 hours. You can still buy it after that, but the price will go up. This is, I've just pinned in the chat, Millionairess Miami for you guys. Super excited to have you. Let me see what you guys are saying. So let me ask you a question actually. What are you doing in your life right now that's different? That's something that like scares you. You have to like pull and summon on courage to do it. It's expanding your container. It feels very uncomfortable. What's that thing that you're doing right now? What's that thing? Mina, for the in-person intensive, is there a minimum level that we should be at? So I would say self-aware Barbie and above. I have just been so blessed that somehow my in-person intensives attract the most highest vibration women ever. Like for those of you guys that have been, you can attest to this. Probably because I feel like I have the highest vibe community on the internet. And so it's the in-person intensives are a subset of that. And so I would say bring your self-aware Barbie and above. So the reason I'm not saying basic babe is that some of these people will need more therapy, or they need more like one-on-one attention. They're not like in that self-aware Barbie self-sufficient energy yet. So that's why I would say that might not be a good place for you. You would want to go where they can like give you one-on-one attention. Expensive equals expansive. I love that. Ooh, that does sound delicious. Love it. The rebirth recordings are in audio form. We did record on video. Unfortunately, the conversion process, we're having issues with conversion. So I'm not gonna promise it. If we figure it out, we'll add it. But the only thing at this time that I can promise you is the audio recordings, because that we have up there already. We did this time record everything on video, but I don't know what's happening with the conversion. Thank you, Claire. I appreciate that. Hawaii intensive versus Miami intensive theme. Similar. So Miami is Millionairess and Hawaii is cash. You have to know this about me. Let me share this. I'm not able to share the agenda of what I'm going to teach at any of my in-person intensives because the downloads come to me the day of. Typically, I will wake up the day that I'm about to teach the intensive and I will get the download of what I'm going to teach. So the people in my community have to exercise an extreme level of just surrender to be able to buy my stuff. If you are the kind of person where you need everything detailed or planned out, which I know a lot of my people don't require that because you've got the $1,000,000 babe going on, but if you are that type of person, then I'm not going to be the best teacher for you, unfortunately, because I don't get my downloads until I get them. Like I can't force it. That's just not the way that I work. So Hawaii is called Cash, the Metaphysics of Money, and Miami is called Millionairess. I'm not selling the Hawaii one yet. I'm gonna fill up Millionairess first and then open the cart for that. Okay, let me see. So what are the things that you're doing that is requiring you to summon up more courage? I'm now starting a business in addition to my career change and my move to California. I've never had my own business. Recovered from limiting beliefs that I couldn't do any of this. Beautiful. So that, I bet, is requiring a lot of the summoning up courage. Those are the things that expand us. If you're just too comfortable if you are never allowing yourself to get scared ever in life, then you're not growing. So I purposely put myself in situations that scare me, that spook me, that expand me, that require me to go and tap into that courage. Moving to London, beautiful. Not worrying about the how, awesome. That can be scary when you first start activating that, so I feel you. Starting to plan for my first baby, how exciting. I wrote a love list the other day. I don't know why I refused to do it for years. Resistance sometimes can show up. This year I'm getting financially independent and maybe start dating as well. Beautiful. So how do we get out of that maybe energy and like really decide? What would be like more of a decision versus maybe someday? Remember that time expands to meet whatever we decide, whatever we give it. So when I want to put a bigger demand on myself so I could summon up more energy, I give myself a shorter timeline. This is why I'll announce the thing before I can even scare myself out of it or talk myself out of it. I'll just launch it, tell everyone about it. Like I'll just put it out there because now I've already put the demand on myself, so I must summon up the energy to meet it. I talked about this in Rebirth, by the way. I'm in university and I keep telling myself that I get to excel as a student. Beautiful, Chrissy. And so how do we make this more of a quantifiable thing? So when we say I want to excel as a student, how would you know if this thing happened? So remember, so when we have the desire, that's the feminine, and to turn it into something concrete that we can measure, that we know, oh my God, yes, I achieved this, we have to turn it into something that we can actually measure. So okay, so let me ask you this. When you graduate university, how would you have known that you excelled? Is it a grade thing? Is it a vibration thing? Is it an energy? Like, what is it? So write that down so that when it happens, you know that you did it. There's no like, did I do it? Did I not? No, like, you will know I have achieved that. So in Miami, so here's the thing. Okay, so someone asked, how many people am I hosting? So in Houston, when I announced the rebirth, I thought I was going to have 22 people. And then before we could close the cart, 26, 27 people had signed up. And then I said, hold on, is this a sign from the universe? So I called up the coordinator at the event space and I said, hey, I know I told you 22, but 26 people have signed up. Is there something you can do? Should I close the cart? And she said, well, your room goes up to 45, the room that they had given us. So she said, all we have to do is rearrange the room, not do it the conference the way you want it to. We can do rounds and then we can. So I'm like, you know what? That's a sign. I'm just going to leave the cart open until we hit that number or until the date where we have to let them know. There's always a date that the event places give us that by that date we have to give them the head count. So whichever number hits first. This space, we have a private suite this time with our own private elevator, private bathroom, private everything. It's fantastic. I saw it on FaceTime. It's brilliant. She literally went up the elevator and walked me through the whole experience. And so right now, at the last time I checked, which was yesterday, I think more people did sign up today, but let's say there's 17 people in there right now, because that's when I checked yesterday. They said by February 24th, we have to give them a head count, but the room can only hold 40. So whichever number or the date comes first, I'll close the cart. So if you go to Millionairess Miami and it says cart is closed, that means either that date has arrived or we hit that 40 number. So that's the vibe right now. So I can't give you an exact number, but all of my limiting beliefs about larger intensives are completely like blown away after I did the after I did the Houston one. Now the Hawaii ones, the deal that I have with the resort there, and I have a relationship with them. I want to keep doing it there. It's only 14 people. It's very, very, very intimate. So that one is sells out really, really quickly because there is literally only space for 14 people. Goddess of Gold already happened. Those are just the digital recordings. So in that new category on my website that I created that says in-person intensives, in there I have actual in-person intensives and I also have recordings of previous intensives. So sorry if that's confusing for anyone. No, I am not a seller of travel. There's federal laws in the United States for including hotels and things like that. So I don't get involved because I don't want to be breaking federal laws. I do everything by the book. Like I'm just one of those people. So no, hotel, flights, anything that would be considered travel is never included in my intensives because of those seller of travel laws. I just want to keep it simple and easy. So it's what's included is my training, what I'm teaching you, the Facebook group that we have where everyone's connecting. For example, when everyone landed in Houston, they were texting each other in the Facebook group saying, I just landed, let's carpool, let's Uber together, let's go to breakfast, let's go to lunch. Anyone want to hang out with me? Like, so like that's included. The trainings are included. If there's any bonuses, it's listed. So the Millionairess Miami includes $6,000 of bonuses. And what the bonuses are all of the digital recordings from my 2022 in-person events. So those sell for separately for a total of 6,000, all four of those. But I'm including that in the Millionairess Miami for you. So that's included. The gourmet lunch for meet and greet is included on March 1st. March 2nd, lunch is included. And when I say lunch, I mean, it's like I just said, it's a very, very high end, expanding my container, the most I've ever paid for lunch. So it's going to be fantastic. All the menu, everything is selected by me. I keep all of our different requirements in mind when doing so. Thank you for the super chat, Charisma. She said, my new thing is I started a new business making more money than ever before. So grateful, but also more stressed than ever before. Advice, love to see you in Hawaii. So advice is that typically when stress comes up or overwhelm comes up, it's because we have some beliefs on what the payback is for having this thing. So somewhere in your childhood or young adulthood, you learned that if you got more money or more whatever, then there was like a price to pay. There was like a penance to pay kind of a thing. And so we do this energetically by overwhelming ourselves, stressing ourselves out, making things a lot harder than they need to be, complicating things, all of that stuff. So personally, what I would do is go back to your belief systems around what you get to have and how easy it gets to be and how less you get to work and how pleasurable the whole experience gets to be. And this is always an ongoing experience. I'm constantly working through this at new levels. They say new level, same old devil, because at every new level, some of those deeper core traumas or beliefs from childhood will pop up, and you're like, nope, this level gets to be even easier. I get to make even more and more money with even more and more grace and ease. It gets to be even better, even easier. So you're going to have to explore those. Will you do one in Europe? Not anytime soon. No. I did one in Europe last year. We did Lisbon, which was Goddess of Gold. It was fantastic. But this year, I do not have any plans for going to Europe. How often do you say affirmations or bless your water? At this point, if I had to count, it would be probably in the millions. It's just a recording that's playing in the back without any effort from me because I've been doing it for decades. So the recording is always playing. Like I'm talking to you and it's happening. So I've trained myself to always be saying positive things, positive affirmations. Like that's just my natural state of being now. Is it safe to be rich? Is it safe to have money? I think it's way safer to be rich than it is to be poor. I felt very unsafe when in poverty. Let me just say this. So it's so interesting the kind of beliefs that we attached to money, but in my experience, I've experienced both. I've experienced poverty, and I've experienced currently Deca millionaire status, and I can tell you that everything is easier with money. Everything. Health issues become non-issues. Little, like anything, big and small, most things. I haven't been able to find anything that isn't easier with money. So what my theory is that people who don't have money, okay, so there's people who have money but don't have time. There's people who have time but don't have money. And then there's people who don't have money or time. People who don't have money or time are the most dangerous parents, because these parents, because they don't have time to spend with us and they don't have money, they train us to think that rich people are bad, they're evil, and they do this because otherwise you're going to go to school and you're going to look around you and you're going to see people that have money and they're like loved up by their parents, like they're like so loved up, right? And so these parents, out of their guilt and not realizing it, they infect this trauma to their children. They say, oh, those people, they're bad, and money is so evil. And so they do this so that you don't idolize that and you don't want that. And you grow up hating those people and you think that there's something bad going on over there. That's what I've seen. And so then when we grow up, we have all of these like crazy, freaky, nonsense, BS beliefs about money and like so much stuff, right? So I actually know people, by the way, my parents didn't have time or money and very inconsistent money. So I've seen how this can play out. Now, people who have um, don't have money but they have time to spend with their kids, they're okay because they may not have riches, but they are loving up their kids, they're giving them time, they're giving them attention, and those people are gonna usually be the first self-made millionaires because they don't have any trauma against money. They don't have parents saying all of this negative stuff. They are still getting something from their parents, like something divine. So that's fine, right? Now, there are also people that have money, but they have no time to spend with their kids. So they are throwing money at their kids in place of time and attention. And those kids grow up spoiled and messed up and disturbed, which actually fuels these people right here, the first category. And they're like, see, they will point out those one or two examples of those people that where the kids got money but nothing else, and they're like traumatized and they're like using money in obnoxious ways and getting all kinds of trouble, right? They will say, see, I told you, look at that example right there. So it creates this like really weird um vicious cycle kind of effect. So as I saw all of this happening growing up, I was like, oh, I get to have money the way that I want to. So what we've done with our kids, and by the way, sometimes when I share my lifestyle a lot more on Instagram, like little stories and things, and you guys will see me like taking my kids out shopping and dinners and all this stuff all the time. And so sometimes I'll get messages, DMs from people saying, you're spoiling your kids, you shouldn't spoil your kids. And I'm like, I should absolutely spoil my kids because I'm not making any of those mistakes. I'm giving my kids all the attention that they need, all the energy that they need, all the life lessons. Like Irfan and I are always available. We both work from home. We're like, we pick and drop, like we're just here all the time. Whenever you need us, here we are, right? So giving them all of that, and then they have money. They get to have money too. So because this category is not traumatized in any way, you get to have fun with money, you get to have fun with family. You don't there's nothing to pay back. There's no penance, there's no I got this so I must give this up. Like, no, you get to have everything. Yes, it is my divine right to spoil my kids, and it is their right to be spoiled by parents that have time, energy, and money. Like, of course, why would I not? That's why I had kids. I love all of your posts about your life. It fuels me. I'm so happy to hear that, Apollo. Independence equals financial freedom. Independence, money, energy, everything. All you get to have all of the things. I don't have the same developed masculine side like you. How can I develop my masculine side without burning out? Love you forever. We're almost at 100K, girl. Yay! I know, I'm super excited about that. So I teach this. It's called the activated self-aware Barbie. So the self-aware Barbie, unconscious is not good, it's fight or flight, but conscious, intentional is what I call the activated self-aware Barbie. So the activated self-aware Barbie, I have a whole bundle on this where I teach you to set containers for yourself in 12 different areas of your life, all different categories, so that you've got your money in check. It also includes my husband's financial course in there about like index funds and like all the things that you would need to create these amazing 12 different containers in your life. So yes, there is a way to intentionally use the activated self-aware Barbie so you're not getting burned out. I love spoiling my little sisters. Children are blessings. They just make life so much more fun, right? Everything is funner with kids. Yes, Alina uses that word, so I'm going to use it. Seriously, Mina came in like a blessing in my life. Where were you before? I've already 3 heartbreaks already and poor decisions. Girl, but no more. So think of those things as kind of like soul lessons that your soul had to learn, maybe to clear out past karma. Who knows? Who cares? Grab the life lessons, forgive yourself, forgive all the other parties involved, let them go. And then what do you get to have now? Like, what do you literally get to create now? Because today is the first day for the rest of your life. Like, that's how I think of it, and I'm always recreating myself. I recently discovered that I'm a projector. I'm burnt out from living a life not meant for me. Still recovering from CFS. Any advice? I'm not sure what CFS is, but watch my projector videos. I have like a whole bunch of videos on human design projector. I would also say have a proper reading done. My son is trained by me, does fantastic, fabulous human design readings. His email is majesty. Is it majesty for divinity or majesty to divinity? I'll post it in the description box or in the comments after this live stream. Does anyone else remember? I think it's majesty. Yeah, can't remember right now. But check that out. Let me see if I can even open it up in my tab. Some of you guys have had readings with him, so maybe you remember. Yes, I actually did a recent human design video as well that I talked about all the different types. I'll try to find that email. I have it on my phone and I'm on my phone. Oh, it's majestyofdivinity@gmail.com. I'm so sorry. I think I was wrong both times. Okay, I'm gonna throw that in the chat for you guys. That is Armand's email. What are your top tips for embodying all of the stuff that you teach? My top tip is to take one thing and do it repeatedly. That's literally embodiment. So you take one thing and then you keep doing it until your body memorizes it, where you don't have to think about it. Like driving. Do you think about driving? No, you just get in your car and you just start driving, right? Or swimming, or like riding a bike. All of these things are embodied once you learn them. So that's how I did it, one thing at a time. I'm a one thing at a time kind of person, like I said in the beginning. All right, ladies, I think I need to reward myself with the activated self-aware Barbie. Yes, the self-aware Barbie is a very important part of us and it's necessary. Otherwise, you will always be beholden to someone else. So even like basic babes that try to skip the self-aware Barbie stage and just like think that they're a $1 million babe because they married rich and then they have like no control of finances, they can't make their own decisions. Like, that is not a good place for any woman to be in, where you bury your head in the sand and you don't have any rights to anything. So I personally don't like that for women. I want you to be aware and do have your own self-aware activated Barbie and then use it when you want to use it. I have manifested my man who provides for me. Awesome, Jasmina. Congratulations. Super excited. All of the negative stories that you hear about providers are unfortunately, because basic babes get them, and then they don't have their activated self-aware Barbie, so they have no say in the relationship. They're literally like a child in the relationship. So, and then the self-aware Barbies are watching them going, oh my God, I don't want to be in that situation. But you wouldn't be in that situation, right? Because you're a grown-up. By the way, Wifed, we just had the first lesson. It is amazing. I'm actually going to be going into this really deeply in lesson 2, like the key core values that every modern day woman needs to have in today's day to be in a relationship. Irfan was just telling me this story yesterday, this horrific story. Oh my God, have you guys heard of this? About this man who he killed his wife, and there was no body. But do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't watch the news. The only reason I know about this because Irfan was like so worked up. He was like, this is a dirty John situation all around. The way that they found out that she's a mother of 3, by the way, multimillionaire woman, owns multiple properties worth millions. He Google searched all of these random things about like hiding and dismembering bodies and things like that, and that's how he's a key suspect. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So there are dirty Johns out there, right? So we know that they target a certain type of woman, successful women with money. And that's why in this training, I'm going to be using my deep study of the predator male mindset and teaching you guys certain things to look out for. The biggest red flag with this woman was that he had threatened her and her friend before they got married. Why on earth would she go and get married to someone who threatened her and her friend? Like, this is when they were dating, they were boyfriend, girlfriend. Like, anyway, some women just don't know red flags if they hit them in their face. So anyways, now these kids are in this situation, and all of that is happening. Irfan was really, really worked up against this thing yesterday because healthy men can't stand predators. So he was like really, really worked up, and he was telling me about it. Thank you, Kabibi. Hey, girl. Hey, I haven't seen you in a minute. I can't wait to have you at one of my in-person intensives. Like, I literally can't wait. It's going to be so exciting. I have no idea. I didn't read the story. Irfan did. He was so worked up last night telling me about it. He was like, look, look. He's like putting the phone in my face and trying to show me a picture of this guy. He's like, look, he looks like a predator. He was so upset. All right, ladies, Millionaires Miami, don't come at me later when it's all filled up and saying, so Rebirth sold out, and then we had people trying to get in. Like, even up until the night before, they were like, please. And I'm like, I can't. Like, we literally gave the head count. We can't do anything about it. So I'm letting you all know, link is in the description box. If you need to be there, be there. It's going to be fabulous. I'm super excited. And then if you missed Rebirth, the recordings are now available. For the next 24 hours, they are at a huge discount, and then the price will be going up. It's the early bird special. I love you. I've got to run, got to go get the kids. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.